Okay, let's dive into this, because we're about to solve one of the most common, and let's be honest, one of the most embarrassing headaches in Spanish grammar: malo versus mal.
So, have you ever been in that situation where you're trying to say you feel a little sick in Spanish, but what comes out of your mouth is something like, I am an evil person? Yeah, if that's you, you are definitely not alone. The good news? We're about to fix that for good.
And this slide right here perfectly illustrates the problem. Look at the left, soy malo. It doesn't just mean you're bad at something, it implies you have this, deep character flaw. You're an evil person. But over on the right, estoy mal, that's what you were looking for. It means I feel sick or I'm unwell. The difference is huge, right? Getting this right is absolutely crucial.
So what's the secret? How do you keep them straight? Well, it all comes down to one really simple, core rule that separates these two words. Let's break it down.
Here it is. This is the whole game. Malo is an adjective. Think of it like the word bad in English. It describes nouns, people, places, things. But mal, that's an adverb, like badly or poorly. It describes actions or states. So really, the only question you ever have to ask yourself is, am I describing a thing, or am I describing how something is or how something is being done?
And here's the best part, the thing that'll make this click. If you've already figured out the difference between bueno and bien, good versus well, then guess what? You've already done all the heavy lifting. This is the exact same grammatical rule, just, for the negative side of things.
Okay, so let's zoom in on malo, the adjective. Just remember, this is our word for describing things.
Now, since malo is an adjective, it has to play by the rules. That means it has to agree in gender and number with whatever noun it's describing. So you get unos malos hábitos for bad habits, or una mala idea for a bad idea. It's pretty straightforward, right? But you might notice something is missing here. What in the world happens with a masculine singular noun?
And here is the special trick, the one little detail you've got to remember for malo. When it comes right before a masculine singular noun, you drop the O at the end. So you would never ever say un malo dia. No way. Instead, it gets shortened to become un mal dia. This is a key rule to sounding natural.
You're going to see malo used with both ser and estar. With ser, it's describing a permanent quality. Think, that movie is bad. It's an inherently bad movie. But with estar, it's for a temporary state, like the milk is spoiled. It wasn't born spoiled, but it is now. And of course, it pops up in a ton of common phrases like mala suerte for bad luck.
All right, let's switch gears and talk about the other half of this pair, normal. And I've got some great news for you. This one is so much simpler. As an adverb, normal is here to describe actions and states, and it has one huge advantage: it never changes.
So you use mal to describe how an action is being done. For instance, ella canta mal, she sings badly. And to finally solve our original problem, estoy mal, I am unwell. It also works great to say something is poorly done, like está mal hecho, or in really common phrases like oler mal, to smell bad.
Okay, so we've gone through all the theory, but how do you actually apply this in a real conversation without freezing up? Let's put everything together into a super simple guide you can use on the fly.
This little cheat sheet boils it all down to just two questions. First, ask yourself, am I describing a noun, a person, a place, a thing? If the answer is yes, you need some form of malo. Second question, am I describing an action or a state of being? If yes, your answer is always mal. See, it's really that simple. And if you need one single sentence to just lock this into your brain forever, this is it. El mal estudiante lo hace mal. It shows both uses perfectly in one go. El mal estudiante describes the noun, the bad student. Lo hace mal describes the action. He does it badly. Seriously, memorize this phrase. It's the perfect little reminder of the rule.
Finally, let's just hammer this home by looking at the most common mistakes one more time. To say you feel sick, it's always estoy mal, never soy mal. To describe a person, it's una mala persona. And for that bad day, remember that special shortening rule. It's got to be un mal dia.
So there you have it. The key is simple. Malo is for things, and mal is for actions and feelings. Now you can confidently say you're feeling unwell without accidentally calling yourself an evil person. So with this rule totally mastered, what's the next Spanish puzzle you want to solve?